Welcome back, YouTubers, to another Wednesday topical video on this Wednesday evening, NJ.
Wednesday.
We are the British Fist.
Jane.
I am Mr. Parkin. Once again, sporting my England shirt because I'm very patriotic. And a guy sitting next to me who is equally, if not more patriotic for his country. God save NJ. It's NJ.
What's up?
Make sure you guys subscribe and above, of course, like this video and put your comments on this video down in that comment section below.
And make sure you contact us in the link in the description box below.
Do as NJ says, people. In today's topical video, as you can probably see by the title, we're going to be asking who is the future of WWE? Because at the moment, the main event scene is very small. We have probably CM Punk, maybe Miz, John Cena, Randy Orton. It seems like WWE really needs to develop those stars, and we really want to ask here, who is going to be the future of the WWE in the next, say, 5 years?
That is a good question to ask, because obviously in the past, we had wrestlers that we could always see as main eventers.
Yes.
Even if they went into the mid-card, there would still be main eventers, and these are the wrestlers that we want to look at through the list we've got now to see who could be up there in 5 years' time.
Yes, we're going to go through guys who we feel are going to be surefire main eventers, guys who we feel could be upper mid-carders, maybe occasional main eventers, and guys which we are not too sure about, but could have possibilities in either the upper mid-card or the main event scene. So we're going to start off in this video with the guys who we feel are definitely going to be in the main event in the future. And we feel there's 3 people in this list that are definitely going to be main eventers. Firstly, the first one we're going to say is The Miz. He had a nice title reign in 2010 going into 2011. He's a very good worker in the ring. He was a top heel on Raw for a while, and I feel he will be a big part of WWE's plans, as they have said in meetings and stuff. So he's definitely a future main eventer.
Because that is the thing about The Miz. He's got everything. He's got the look. He's got the mic skills. He's got the experience. Obviously, you've seen him through his matches.
He's been built up since Tough Enough, hasn't he?
And that's it. So he's got everything that's ready for the main event. And obviously, they keep working on him. He could be there for 5 years' time onwards.
And also, with the work they put into him earlier this year, giving him Money in the Bank, they've given him that main event exposure, that media, representing WWE exposure. So for me, he is one of the future guys in WWE that is going to be at the top. Maybe not as a top heel in some case, because I think Alberto Del Rio might be more suited to that. But he is definitely going to be a great player in the future, I feel.
And I wouldn't complain because he's done a great deal for the WWE since he's been moved from the tag team upwards. So again, he'd be definitely there.
And he's one of those guys, like you said, he's been in the tag team, he's been in the mid card. Now he's fine. He's one of those guys that has logistically, systematically built himself to the main event, and that's one of the things I like about The Miz, and that's why he's such a great worker and why he deserved his spot up there.
That's very true. And talk about great workers, the next guy we'll talk about, he had a great start in the WWE. He came in through a NXT tournament, and then he came straight in with the faction Nexus, and that is none other than Wade Barrett.
Wade Barrett is a man who screams out charisma to me. It's not just because we're British. We see it because he obviously has some talent. He's got that traditional British heel about him, and he's got a good look, and he's also fantastic on the mic, as we've seen. This guy has a real potential to be a future main eventer, top heel on, say, a SmackDown kind of brand. I'm surprised that WWE haven't pushed him sooner, to be honest.
Because that's the bad thing. Because obviously, we can see the positive in these guys. The negative is, on Raw, he was great. He did wonders. He was in the main event. He was against John Cena, which is the biggest guy on Raw and in WWE.
Yes.
And then when he got moved to SmackDown, he seems to have dropped downhill by going to that faction, the core. And I'm thinking SmackDown could use him a lot better. I'm thinking within 5 years, he's going to be back up there, back in the main event where he belongs. Yeah,
definitely. Wade Barrett is a guy who needs to be in that main event, whether it's through winning Money in the Bank, whether it's just be through a dominant heel. The work he has done in Nexus shows that he is suited to that main event scene and that he can handle the spotlight and can really do well to get over that baby face, which is what's needed from a heel. That's the #1 priority for heels. So for me, he is definitely a big player for WWE in the future, and I think he can get a good rub off a guy like an Undertaker maybe at some point.
That is true, because he's got what The Miz has got. Great mic skills. He's had great build, on Raw he did. And he's definitely got the whole build of a heel side, so he could do wonders for the wrestling if they use him.
Even though lately they have kind of been chopping the ball with him a lot. But hopefully that'll be rectified in the future.
Yeah, because he's got, obviously, the future to work on,
yes. The next guy we have on our list is Sheamus. Sheamus is a favourite of Triple H, which shows me that obviously him being a favourite Triple H shows me that he will be getting this main event push. Not only that, but even though they kind of dropped the ball with him earlier this year, he's won the WWE Championship twice, and lately they've been building up as this major, big monster babyface, and I do feel he'll win the World Heavyweight Championship later this year, if not early next year. For me, a definite future for the WWE Sheamus there.
Because that's true, because in the past year, the WWE have seen good in him, or they would have not gave him this whole becoming the WWE Championship. Yep. So I think there's definitely something in him. I'm thinking they're rebuilding him back up towards the main event. They're going to have him, because he's, again, just like the Miz and Wade Barrett, great on mic. He's had the back build, and he's definitely got the whole main event package with him. He just needs to be built up there again.
Yes, and what they're doing with him now is probably the correct thing to do. He can be either heel or babyface. He's essentially a tweener. So to me, as a monster babyface, he does work because he's a believable monster guy who can defeat a Mark Henry. He's also a great monster heel too to use when you want to, really want to get the babyface over. So for me, Sheamus is a definite future main eventer and a definite future player.
And I'm thinking if they keep working on Sheamus, he could be the ones that just stays there all the way through. So yes,
definitely, kind of like with Miz and Wade Barrett. But true. The next guy we want to talk about, even though we didn't initially include him on our list, Alberto Del Rio.
Very true. Again, he's had the whole build since Royal Rumble and that, so he's been used brilliantly. But then again, just like the WWE's booking, he's not been booked as strong as they could be.
No, and when you see booking like that, you kind of get the feeling that they don't have enough confidence in him. We saw the same with Miz and Sheamus in their early title reigns, but hopefully, I just think Vince is very high on Alberto Del Rio, and he does have the kind of character which could suit an international market, which is one of the reasons why I feel that WWE are going to push him to the main event. He's, especially when they tour Mexico and places like that.
And the thing is, with Alberto, look, they're showing you that they have faith in him. They're giving him his ring announcer. They're giving him a big intro to his entrance. And they're giving him all these big important matches. They're giving him a second title reign. So they have faith in him. They just got to hold on to it, keep working on it.
Definitely. Another guy who will be a very, very big player in WWE's future, I feel.
I think he's got the heel look about him. He's been built up to someone that we could see in the future, yes.
Yeah, definitely. The next person we want to talk about, he could be an upper mid-carder. He could be a main eventer. We're not really sure. It just depends how WWE develop him. And that is Alex Riley. I think you'll agree with me when I say this, that Alex Riley does have a lot of potential in the WWE. He has got that kind of look about him, whether he's babyface or heel. I feel, to me, that he could be kind of like the John Cena type of guy who could really stay at the top and be this monster babyface. But it just depends how WWE build him.
Oh, sadly, he's had the whole build of The Miz. So he's had a great intro into the WWE through NXT. Then he had Miz working alongside Miz. They built up brilliantly. But they, as you said, dropped the ball with him. They put him onto Superstars. They had him in a few SmackDowns, but nothing continuously. No. So nothing that can make us buy into his character. Now he's without the Miz, so again, his future can only hold good things for him.
Yeah, I do feel, like I said before, he is a good future guy for the WWE. It's just how they book him, how they get him into that main event scene. It's only a matter of time for me before they actually decide to get this guy in the main event, whether it's as a heel or a face.
Again, he's not got the greatest, I'm going to be honest here, he's not got the greatest mic skills and that, but he's got it there so he can keep working on it and hopefully become someone that WWE work with.
With improvement, he could be as good as a Miz on the mic. With improvement,
yes.
Another guy on our list, which we feel that might not be a surefire, always in the main event type guy, Cody Rhodes. He's the kind of guy who could definitely work a match, definitely work in the upper mid-card, and could occasionally be in that main event scene. We've seen they've really enhanced his gimmick on SmackDown, and I feel that he does have a good future ahead of him, and WWE will allow him to express himself a lot better in the ring. I do feel he has a big future for WWE and can be an integral part of their main event scene as it comes along.
Again, just like The Miz, he's had a big build-up. He's had legacy. He's been working with Orton. He's had this whole dashing Cody Rhodes. He's had loads of gimmicks that have worked with him, some not so well, but he's definitely getting somewhere now. Yep. That makes you think that, cool, this could be a main event. I look forward to see what the WWE do with him.
Yes.
But as a possible stay main eventer, not quite.
No, I don't feel that either. I do feel a lot of his future potential will be based on how they book him against Randy Orton in this feud, because I feel that is the telling point as to number one, how much faith they have in him, and number two, can he get the rub off of Randy Orton, or will they just bomb him?
Because that's the thing, at the minute, the WWE are putting him against Randy Orton, who's a main eventer, to see how Cody copes being involved in the main event scene. So I'm thinking, if he works off well here, if the WWE think, oh yes, he's doing brilliantly against Randy Orton or future opponents, they'll use him well in the main events in the future.
Yes. Without further ado, Daniel Bryan is another guy who we could really see in that upper mid-card scene. He's a great wrestler. His personality, not so much so as a guy as much as a guy like Cody Rhodes, who I think would appeal more for the main event scene. But he's a great wrestler who could work the upper mid-card. Again, he's that kind of guy, like a Cody Rhodes, that you could bring into that main event scene for maybe a month or two, like a Kurt Angle was when he first came into WWE. He's definitely a great wrestler, and he could be involved in the future of the WWE with his wrestling skills.
Well, look at Daniel Bryan. He's had build-up in other companies. He's been brought up into a good wrestling environment.
Yep.
But the thing about him is that he's been built up to be Money in the Bank winner. Good. He's got his guaranteed match to face the champion.
Yep.
But the thing is, since he's won it, he's just gone from up here thinking, yes, he's won the champion. He's won the briefcase. Now he's gone down really rapidly.
And
we've got to look at him thinking there's a possible main eventer here, someone we want to see because he's a face, he's going to be a face main eventer, but I don't know what they're doing with him.
And let's face it, the booking hasn't exactly been on his side. I mean, like I said, he doesn't have too much personality. His mic skills are okay. But the way WWE booked him as a Money in the Bank champion, and also earlier this year when he dark matched the WrestleMania, the way they booked him doesn't really show the WWE to have too much confidence in him. But I still feel if he wins that match at WrestleMania, which he says he's going to do, cash in the main event, then it could really do a lot for his career in WWE, just depending on how they book him, because they need to make him look so strong at least some point. So that really will depend on the Money in the Bank thing. Will depend on how good in the future he could be.
Because that's very true. At this particular moment in time, he needs something that's going to push him, make him on a winning streak or on more of a winning role.
Yeah.
And at the moment, they're not using him as well as they should. But again, when he starts winning matches, yes, I do see him as a possible high mid-carder towards the main event in a few years' time.
Another guy who I feel is in a similar boat as Cody Rhodes is Dolph Ziggler. Now, we've seen that Dolph Ziggler can work good matches with Edge at Royal Rumble, for example. He is a great worker in the ring. He's got the US Championship at the moment. He's got Vicky Guerrero by his side, who I think he does need to get rid of in time. But he has got the potential to be an upper mid-carder and sometimes main event guy with his look and, his poor man's Mr. Perfect kind of thing.
Well, that is very true. Going back to the Vicky thing, it's been said by the commentators and other people, Vicky is the one who can bring the best up people. You saw bringing up the best of Edge. So now, hopefully, she's going to maybe stay with Dolph Ziggler a bit longer just to give him the continuous push towards the main event before leaving him and Dolph Ziggler gone on his own. But the thing is, we've also seen that Dolph Ziggler can hold the World Heavyweight Championship.
For 20 minutes. but I do agree Dolph Ziggler has potential to be a future main event, a guy you can put in the main event, or at least an upper mid-carder. So for me, Dolph Ziggler is definitely something that WWE will be using in the future. So which is good considering he came from Spirit Squad, for God's sake.
I think you can see him going against possible other opponents like the ones we've just listed. We can see them going against each other, so I think WWE could use him.
Yes. The next guy we are saying is John Morrison. Now, we've got a big question mark by his name because earlier this year he did look like the kind of guy that could break into that main event scene with his style of wrestling. He was very over with the crowd. And then all this shit backstage happened and they've been really booking him badly since, haven't they? Which really shows that they don't really want him in that main event scene maybe in the future.
The thing is, we've seen him against mid-card champions, the US and the IC. But to be honest, the way the WWE are booking him, he just didn't win them and continue his burial. So to be honest, we want to see him in the main event because we know he can perform, but it's just the booking is just not working with him.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, earlier this year, the fans were behind him. He had that title shot against Miz, which was supposed to be a Royal Rumble, but then they kind of dropped the ball with that a little bit by having it on Raw. But the way they've been booking him recently just shows they don't have too much confidence in him, and it shows that once and for all, backstage politics will prevail over skill, ability. Even though his mic skills aren't very good, he could still be like one of those guys who you could bring into that main event scene at some point. Even though he's not really a believable guy who could really win that title and hold it for a long time.
No, but saying that, he has been in big matches in the WWE. He's been in like you said with Miz. He's been in Elimination Chamber. He's done big things.
Yeah.
So it shows that WWE do have somewhat faith in him, or they used to. But all I can say now is the future. I'm not sure how bright it is for him, but I would like him to see in high mid-card.
These next couple of months will really be deciding factors to how WWE want to plan him or what they've got planned for him. So I think that's all the surefire main event guys and upper mid-card guys we could say in this video. I think what we'll do is we'll do the next video where we talk about guys from like the upper developmental guys, or guys that we haven't seen in the upper mid card yet that we think could make a difference maybe in the future. Guys like Mason Ryan, Sin Cara, Skip Sheffield, guys that we could, that haven't done much so far but could have a potential in WWE, and we'll do that. Should we do that on another video?
I think that's a good idea, because with these other wrestlers that we're going to go into next, they're ones that we look at and think,
Don't know.
Is there something there? Could WWE make something there? But we'll go into more detail in the next video.
I mean, it's all about developing style. I mean, we've got these guys that we talked about have been exposed to TV for a while now. The guys we're going to talk about in this video haven't been exposed to TV that long, and we're not really sure what's going to come of them, but we know that they have something or one specific thing that could make them into that future star. So we will talk about that on the next video. Make sure you check that out. We're not sure when we'll be releasing it, but we will definitely get it out for you on one Wednesday. So make sure you check that out. Get your comments on this down below. Who guys that you think could be the future of the WWE, NJ?
And I hope you've enjoyed this part 1 of the video. We've gone into great detail about wrestlers that we would like to see in the main event, because to be honest, the WWE do need to start running up their new main eventers for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And now that's all I'm going to say now is that's been it from Alberto Del Daniel and Alberto Del NJ. Goodbye!